Hi, welcome to Drunken Aunt Wendy Crochets. And today we are going to work together and make the very first pattern that I ever designed, Mr. Sheldon the Crab. You can do these in any color combinations. It's totally cool. He'd look great in like red and pink. He'd look great in just two kinds of reds. I'm doing him in blue, like a Maryland blue crab, because I like Maryland blue crabs. I just like the idea of blue and it's fun, but pinks, yellows, purples, go crazy with this, make it your own, have so much fun. Now, you can listen along with me and I will tell you step by step what we're doing. You can also purchase the pattern on my website for a minimal fee. If you get it from Etsy, it'll be more because Etsy has a lot of fees. And it'll give you a step by step and it'll give you alternative colorways. I know in the pattern I made it a purple and a light blue, but this time we're going to use some worsted weight yarn. This is Brava worsted weight from Knit Picks. I have Celestial, I have Sky, and I have white, and I also need some black. But since we're not going to do the eyes for a while, I will get that before the rest of this video is finished. So you're going to want a size E crochet hook, which is what I use, a piece of scrap yarn in a contrasting color so you can do this without a lot of counting, a large eye needle for the sewing because there's quite a few parts to this. So we're going to start with the pattern and we're going to make the claws, the very claws at the front of our little crab that like hang down. And this is done in two parts. We're going to make the big part, I'll call that the hand, and then the little part, and then we're going to crochet those together to give us the claws. It's super fun. Um, and then we'll move on to other parts of him. I know that where I have the antenna, those are actually eyes. This is not a realistic version of a crab. This is just a crochet version of a crab. So don't come at me. All right. Set aside the colors you aren't using. Oh, and you'll need some polyfiber fill. Um, Not a ton, but you will need some, especially for these claws. Okay. So we'll work together for one claw, and then you can either rewind it and do it again, or you can look at the pattern because you've already seen how to do everything. So in our blue, and I'll just call them basic, like dark blue, light blue. We don't need to go by the actual manufacturer's colors. So we have our yarn, and now I do a chain two. I to start the beginnings of my amigurumi, I don't do the magic circle. I just don't like it. If you want to do a magic circle, skip this part, do your magic circle, and then come back and we'll start round one. So you need to do a slip knot. So slip knot, you want to go over your fingers, cross it in the front, and then you're going to have that little piece that you just pull up. There you go. You have a slip knot. You can put your hook in and you can pull that fairly tight and that'll help close your thing. But I don't want it super tight just yet because I am working. So we're going to do, to start everything, we're going to chain two. So 1, 2. Now follow along on the pattern or just listen to me. Round one, we are going to single crochet 4 times in this second chain from hook. So you have 1 chain, 2 chains. There is a bumpy part. I call it the bumpy part. There may be technical terms. And there is the V. We're going to do this into the bumpy part. And we're going to do 4 single crochet. If you don't know how to single crochet, let's walk through it. You're going to go into the bumpy part, pull up around your hook, pull through both. That's 1. In, pull up, around, pull through. That's 2. In, pull up, around, pull through. That's 3. And that's 4. And that's our first round. We're going to pull that tight by pulling this end of our slip knot, and we're going to move on to round 2. So round 2, you're going to increase in the first stitch, and then you're going to do 3 single crochets. An increase is really easy. It is 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So now we have double there. So you want to go through both of them, pull up, over, pull through, pull up, over, pull through. You can also do this with the yarn under method. I've tried it. I don't see a lot of difference. I know a lot of people do. If you want to do yarn under, that's fine. Just check your spacing and where things are moving. That's all I can say. And now we're going to continue around with the rest of this round, and it's 3 single crochet. So 1, 2, and then 3. If I can grab it. There we go. So this is the right side of your work. This is the wrong side of your work. It should start curving itself, but if you want to help it along, you can. So what you're going to do for this large part of the claw is increase in the first stitch, single crochet around until we get to a total of 17 stitches. Okay. We'll walk through them all individually. I will probably speed up the single crochet parts because that gets a little tedious. All right. So we are moving on to round 3, which is an increase. So we're going to increase 1, 2, and now we're going to do 4 single crochet. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're back to my stitch marker. So you can either go ahead and pull it out, or you can just flip it down and start in the next round. It's your call. I kind of like to do it this way when I'm doing a series so I can count. I'm turning the page in my pattern. Round 4, we are going to increase in the first stitch and then do 5 single crochet. So increase, 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you will have 7 stitches. I don't know why I pulled that all the way out. Not necessary, but that's what I did, so we're just going to go with it. All right, let's go to round 5, which is increase 6 single crochet. So increase, and then 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So at the end of round 5, you will have 8 stitches. We're going to move up to round 6, which is increase 7 single crochet. So increase, and then 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right, you can already tell it's making a point and it's starting to curve. I like to stick my fingers in there. I don't know why, but I do, and it's starting to curve. So this is going to give us that claw shape. After round 6, you would have 9 stitches. So let's move on to round 7, which is going to be an increase 8 single crochet. So increase 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Sometimes I like to fold it in half so I can see how the curve is going. The curve does shift a little. That's okay. With the way you stuff it, you should be able to get it all back to the way you want it. So let's just count, see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We just finished round 7. We have 10 stitches. So let's move on to round 8, which is an increase 9 single crochet. You're going to increase 1, 2, then single crochet for 9. All right, you finished round 8. You should have 11 stitches. Now we're going to go on to round 9, which is increase 10 single crochet. So we do our increase and then do 10 single crochet. You should have 12 stitches. Now we'll move on to round 10, which is an increase 11 single crochet. Increase and 11 single crochet. All right, that's the end of round 10. You should have 13 stitches. So the whole point of the stitch marker is so you don't have to count each round. You do the increase, you single crochet around till you get to the stitch marker. That's why I do it. Anyway, we're on round 11, which is increase 12 single crochet. So increase and then 12 single crochet. So that was the end of round 11. You should have 14 stitches. Get 3 more rows of the increase to go, and then we're going to fasten this off and make the little part of the claw, and then we're going to join them back together. So round 12 is increase 13 single crochet, so increase, and then 13 single crochet. So you should have 15 stitches. Now let's do round 13, which is increase 14 single crochet. Increase, and then do 14 single crochet. All right, that's the end of round 13. You should have 16 stitches. We're going to do our last round here, which is round 14. We're going to increase, and then we're going to do 15 single crochet. So increase, and then 15 single crochet. So you are finished with the large part of the claw. I know it's a little twisted. It's okay. If you see, you can just kind of twist it back into the shape that you want it in. And then when we stuff it, we will make it in a claw shape. Okay, sorry. Go ahead and clip your yarn. You don't need to leave a lot for sewing because we're not going to be sewing this piece together. We're going to be single crocheting it together. So what you're going to do now, remove that stitch marker. And if you don't know how to fasten off, it's real simple. You go through the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through that stitch and the yarn on the hook, pull it up, and there you go. You have fastened off and you have done the large part of the claw. The small part of the claw is the exact same thing. We're just going to stop after round 8. Sorry. So we're going to stop when we have 11 single crochet on, but we'll walk through it together. Again, let's do the slip knot, cross it over, go behind, pull up, hook in, pull tight, chain 2, 1, 2. Now 4 single crochet in the second chain from hook, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull up, fix your hook because you split some yarn. That happens to me all the time. So we have 4 stitches on here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to move on to round 2 of the small part. We're going to increase in the first stitch and single crochet for 3. So increase, and then single crochet for 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, pull that up a little tighter just to make sure. And you should have 5 stitches. So let's move on to round 3, which is increase, increase, and 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Move your stitch marker however you like to do that. Move on. You should have 6 stitches. So let's move on to round 4, which is increase 5 single crochet. So increase, and 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that gives you 7 stitches. Let's move on to round 5. So move your stitch marker, increase, 6 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, move your stitch marker. You should have 8 stitches. Let's move on to round 6, which is increase 7 single crochets. Increase, 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Move your stitch marker. And you can see from my stitch marker how it rotates around. That's okay. You should have 9 stitches. We're going to go to round 7, which is increase 8 single crochet. So we're going to increase and then do 8 single crochet. All right, move your stitch marker. You should have 10 stitches. And now we are going to do the last round in the little part of the claw, and then we're going to move on to joining them. So you're going to increase and 9 single crochet. All right, you should have 11 stitches. This is the little part of the claw. This is the big part. You kind of line them up like this. Big part, little part, and they go. Yeah, see, you can't take me anywhere. Anyway, so I line them up like this. And then if you're continuing on to the pattern, you're going to continue on to the base. So for the base, you are going to single crochet around this one and then single crochet around this one. What do you mean? Well, I mean exactly what I said. You're going to take your hook from here and take it straight into this one and single crochet. And that's how we're joining it. And then you do it again. You go all the way around this piece. So let's go all the way around. And this piece is just going to flop around for a minute. That's okay. Okay, we're where we joined it, we finished off. So we want to kind of make sure we put the string on the inside and don't add an extra stitch here. If you do, no big deal. We'll just fix it. Okay, so there's one there, and then we're going to do the one where we did the slip stitch, which is actually up here. And I'm crocheting over that tail of the yarn, just to make sure it's taken care of. And we have one more stitch on this big piece, so stitching in that. Okay. Now we go over to the other side. So we joined right here. So let's just go to the very next stitch and crochet. Okay, so you have sufficiently joined them together and crocheted around both of them, and you have your little claws. And I just cannot resist when I have these to stick my fingers in them and make them little pinchy monsters. Just me. If I and you should have 28 stitches. If you have an extra stitch or you don't have enough stitches, that's what the next crochet round is going to be for. You want to even it out so you get 28 stitches. So you can count, you can add or you can decrease. I recommend if you do decreases, do them over here on the sides. Don't do them right here for the shaping. But if you're one or two stitches off, don't worry about it. Just keep going and I throw in a stitch here, take a stitch away there to get it back to where it needs to be. This is not a big shaping thing. It's not going to make that much of a difference if you just do a decrease because you had too many stitches, or if you do an increase because you didn't have enough stitches. Just try to put them on the sides where the curves have been, and it'll be perfectly fine. Okay, so that's what I'm going to tell you to do for this row. Single crochet around in each stitch so that you have 28 at the end. If you need to increase or decrease, do that. I don't need to because I did this. But if you do, it's no big deal. I call this second row the fix the mistakes stitch. All right, so just single crochet around and adjust your stitches if necessary. Okay, so you finished round 2 of, we'll call it the base of the claws. You should have 28 stitches. And you're going to go ahead and move your stitch marker. If you can get your fingers down, you don't need to start stuffing now. I don't usually start stuffing until I'm a little further along. We're going to move on to round 3 of the base, which is going to be 3 single crochet, decrease 5 times, but then there's going to be some extra stitches left over. You'll do 3 more single crochet. So let's do the 3 single crochet decrease. So it's 1, 2, and 3. Now we need to decrease. If you haven't done a decrease, all you have to do is go into the next stitch, pull up, and then go into the next stitch and pull up, go over, pull through them both, and you have crocheted 2 stitches together. So let's do that one more time. It's 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then decrease. Okay, you're going to want to do that 3 more times. There should be 3 single crochets left after you do the third decrease. Okay, so I just did that 5 times total, and there's 3 single crochets. See, 1, 2, 3. We're just going to single crochet those. Okay, so single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And you should have 23 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 4. Just single crochet in each stitch around. You'll have 23 stitches when you're done. Okay, so let's do that. You can follow along and meet me when you get back to the end of your stitch marker. All right, you just finished round 4. So now we're going to move on to round 5, which is going to be 2 single crochet, decrease 5 times, and then single crochet the last 3 remaining stitches. So you're going to do 2 single crochet, 1, 2, you're going to decrease, and you're going to repeat that around 4 more times. Okay, we have 3 stitches left, so let's just single crochet those. 1, 2, and 3. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is move on to round 6. You should have 18 stitches. And we're going to move on to round 6, and we're going to do a single crochet row. So just single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, you just finished round 6. So now we're going to start stuffing. I pull this really nice and big so I don't lose my starting spot when I do the stuffing part. And I'm just using some polyfiber fill. I'm breaking it down into smaller pieces so I can really stuff it all the way down into the ends of those claws. And then that's why, and if you have shorter fingers and you need to start this process sooner, feel free, but I usually can get it. That's what those dagger nails are for, right? Okay. So I really just get a whole bunch up in there as best I can. And I try to make sure I keep the curve while I'm doing that. So let's do the little side too, just so we can keep an even shape. Okay, now we have more. Now, when you're stuffing, there is a sweet spot. You want it to be firm enough that it holds the shape. Like you can see, holds the shape. You don't want it so stuffed that your stuffing starts showing through, which is really obvious in something with such dark yarn and such light stuffing. So you want to make sure you stuff it, but don't overstuff it. And it will take time and practice. I know if you look back at some of my earlier work, I definitely overstuffed, I definitely understuffed. I think you just develop a feel for it as you move along. I wish I could tell you more than that. You want to keep the stuffing nearby, and we're going to keep stuffing as we go, as we finish the rest of this. So this is basically your claw is done, but it has to attach to the body of your crab. So we need to close this down a little bit and give him, I'm going to call him arms for lack of a better word. We're going to give him some little arms, okay? So put your hook back in and then pull it up tight to get it back to where it needs to be. Put your stitch marker down. And now we're going to do round 7, which is a single crochet decrease 6 times. So now we don't have any random leftovers and we're all good. We're back to crocheting in sixes. So single crochet, decrease, and then you repeat that 5 more times. Okay, so that just finished round 7. And you should have 12 stitches left. And you can already tell we're going to need to be able to stuff. I'm going to do another row before I stuff. I don't really like to have a lot of stuffing right where I'm crocheting because my hook grabs the fibers, pulls the fibers out, and I don't have as clean of edges as I like. Do you? I'm not going to come to your house and yell at you if you don't crochet exactly like I do. Okay, let's move on to round 8, which is a single crochet row. So just single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so you just finished round 8. You should have 12 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of poly. I'm going to add a little bit of poly fiber fill while I'm at it, while I'm right here, just to make sure I can still get my hand in there. I don't want it to get too small that I can't get my fingers in. I have made that mistake. They have a stuffing tool. I hate to use it. I like to make sure I can get my hands in. All right, round 9. We're going to do the exact same thing that we just did. We're going to do a single crochet decrease, but we're only going to do it 4 times now. I'm going to get everything caught. Okay, so you're going to do a single crochet and then a decrease. And you're going to repeat that 3 more times. All right, now we're going to move on, and it's just going to be a few rows of single crochet. So rounds 10 through 14, you're going to want to do 5 rows of single crochet. Make sure you stuff as you go so that you don't have any issues. You shouldn't be too bad, but make sure you're keeping track of that so that you don't have any problems. So 5 rows of single crochet. I'm going to do the back and forth method of the stitch counter, and I'll show you what I mean when we get to the end of this. But just do this, and we'll meet back after 5 rows. Okay, welcome back. We should have done 5 rows. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to stuff again to make sure. Now, this doesn't have to be super stiff. It's not like the arms are sticking out straight from the side of your crab. They kind of curve around in front, but we don't want them super flippy floppy either. Yes, again, I use so many technical terms, and I'm pretty sure flippy floppy is the exact technical term. Gonna get some more stuffing in there. Okay, so the next part, we want these to curve just a little bit. So rounds 15 and 16 are going to seem just weird. We're going to end up with the same number of stitches when we're done, but we're going to do some increases and decreases to try to curve this a little bit. So round 15, you're going to single crochet. Let's just do each stitch. That sounds like a better plan. So single crochet, increase, increase, single crochet, decrease, and decrease. You see, we made the decreases, we did increases here. It's going to curve this way. Just trust the process. Okay. So that was round 15. Round 16, we're going to do the exact same thing. So you're going to single crochet. You're going to increase, just 2, and then increase, which is 2, then single crochet. Then you're going to decrease, and decrease. All right, and you can see how it's already nice and curved like that. That's perfect. We're going to add a little bit more stuffing, and we're going to finish this off with 2 more rows of single crochet. So I'm just going to stuff this up a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be super, super sturdy. It just needs to be there because these come out from the front of the crab and they curve down and they just kind of flip over. So it's kind of perfect. Kind of. I realize I sometimes get very repetitive in the words that I use. All right. You're going to do rounds 17 and 18, which is just 2 rows of single crochet. We'll meet back here when we're done. Okay. Okay, we have finished 1 claw. So you want to leave, I usually say about 18 inches for 12 to 18 inches to sew it on. This one is really small in the opening, but let's just leave it just in case. So clip your yarn, Fasten off. Stuff it some more. And now you have one claw done. So what you're going to want to do is if you have the pattern, you just flip back to the beginning and start over. If you're just watching the video, stop, rewind back to the beginning of the video and make a second one. And we'll meet back here after we have two of them done. I'm going to pretend to do a transition. They never work, but we're going to just go like this. And we're back and we have two. Yay, there's two. I don't know why you needed to see both, but I decided you did. So what we're going to do next, put these off to the side because we don't need them right now. And we're going to move on to the bottom of the shell or the belly of our crab. And I'm using the lighter yarn. If you're doing this in any kind of different color scheme, I would make the belly lighter just for the contrast. You don't have to go with the light blue that I'm using here. You can choose to do what you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase to 8 single crochet, increase 6 times before we start doing shaping. So if you just want to go ahead and get to that point, that's fine. If you want to work along with me, also fine. Again, there are no rules when it comes to me. So let's do our slip knot, which is a crossover underneath, pull up, woohoo, stick in our hook, pull tight, 2 chains, all right? Or a magic ring. Again, it doesn't bother me if you use a magic ring. I just don't like it. And I find this a lot easier. So what we're going to do is 6 single crochet in the second chain from hook. This is round 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I want to point this out in case somebody wants to be like, I want to use all my dark yarn colors first, and I want to go ahead and do the top of the shell. You got to have the bottom of the shell done before you do the top of the shell because you're going to single crochet the top of the shell to the bottom of the shell to make your to make the body of your crab. So you need to have this part done first. Otherwise, I'd say go for it, but you want to have this part done first. All right, round 1, you just did 6 single crochet. You should have 6 stitches. We are moving on to round 2, which is an increase in each stitch. So increase 6 times. All right, so you should have 12 stitches. I always count the second row, make sure I have 12 stitches. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So now we're going to move on to round 3, which is a single crochet increase 6 times. So you're going to do your single crochet, then you're going to increase just 2 stitches, and then you're going to repeat that around 5 more times. Okay, so you just finished round 3. You're going to have 18 stitches. You noticed I'm going to start speeding up when we just do the repeats around so that this video isn't 9 million hours long because this guy is going to take a while. And if you watch me do every single stitch, it's going to be a really long video. All right, round 4, single crochet, increase, single crochet 6 times. So you're going to do your single crochet, then you're going to increase, Then you're going to single crochet. And you're going to repeat that around 5 more times. Hey, you just finished round 4. You should have 24 stitches. We're going to move on to round 5, which is 3 single crochet, increase 6 times. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then increase. Now repeat that around 5 more times. That's the end of round 5. You'll have 30 stitches. Moving on to round 6, it's going to be 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet 6 times. So we're going to do 2 single crochet, just 1, 2, and then we're going to increase, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet. And the reason I spread these increases out is otherwise I kind of get a line that goes around, and I don't like that. But if you prefer it, go for it. Don't care. It's your project. I'm not going to be upset with you. So that's the increase, and then 2 more single crochet, and then repeat that around 5 more times. That is the end of round 6. You're going to have 36 stitches, and we're going to move on to round 7, which is 5 single crochet, increase 6 times. Everything in multiples of 6s become very fun and very normal in crochet. So once you know your 6 times table, you'll do really well. The different increases in a different spot so that we don't have a spiral that goes up. But it is your prerogative, again, your project. So that was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do an increase. And now we're going to repeat that around 5 more times. So we just finished round 7. You should have 42 stitches around. We're going to move on to round 8, which is 3 single crochet, increase, 3 single crochet 6 times. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then increase. And you're going to do 3 more. So you can either count it 1, 2, 3, or you can count it 4, 5, 6, whichever way is the least confusing for you, because then you're going to start over and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, increase, 4, 5, and 6. You count it however you want, but repeat that around 4 more times. So we just finished round 8. We're going to move on to round 9. At the end of round 8, you should have 48 stitches. So round 9, we're going to do 7 single crochet, increase 6 times all the way around. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then increase. And repeat that around. You guessed it, 5 more times. Okay, you finished round 9. You should have 54 stitches. If you are ready, we're going to move on to round 10. It is 4 single crochet, increase 4 single crochet 6 times. So you're going to have 8 stitches in between. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then increase. And then 5, 6, 7, 8. So repeat that around 5 more times. Okay, you've just finished round 10 and you should have 60 stitches. What we're going to do next is we're going to do the increases and we're going to keep increasing, but we're only going to do 3 each row. So we're going to do the increase section 3 times. Then we're going to single crochet the remaining stitches, which is going to give us this like, it's going to curve down on this side and keep getting flat out on the other side. It'll make sense when you see it. And we're going to throw some single crochet rows in there too. So if you have the written pattern, following along might be helpful. Otherwise, just listen closely. I will tell you what we're doing each round. So now this is round 11. It is 9 single crochet increase 3 times. So we're going to do 9 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you're going to increase. Okay. And then you're going to do this only 2 more times. So do your 2 increases and then we'll talk about what's happening next. Okay, so we've increased and we're halfway across. That's what we wanted. If you remember, the previous round was 60, so we've crocheted in 30 stitches. I know it's 33 stitches now, and we have 30 stitches remaining. So what we're going to do for the rest of the round is just single crochet in each stitch. I know it's not super exciting, but it is going to give us that shape that we want. So just single crochet around in each stitch. You just finished round 11. You're going to want to have 63 stitches. So we only increased 3 times. Now we're going to move on to round 12 and we're just going to do single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm going to start it. Let's meet back here at the end. Feel free to pause if you need to, whatever you need to do, and then just restart it when you get to the same spot I'm in. You just finished round 12. That's 63 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 13, which is 5 single crochet, increase 5 single crochet 3 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then increase. And remember, you can count this next section however you want. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whichever makes you happy. But just want 5 more. Okay, and now you're going to want to do that 2 more times, and then you're going to single crochet the remaining 30 stitches. Okay, so there's 30 stitches left. You're going to single crochet those remaining 30 stitches. You just finished round 13. You should have 66 stitches. Now for round 14, you're going to single crochet around. Um, and I'd like to make sure that everybody knows to take breaks, stretch out your wrists. Crocheting injuries are real. It's really kind of weird that we can hurt ourselves, but this is a very repetitive motion and you can get carpal tunnel, etc. So you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself and you sit with good posture so you don't mess up your shoulders or anything else. So just a very quick we'll call it a PSA. The more you know. Okay, now just continue to crochet around and we'll meet back here when we finish this row. We just finished round 14, which has 66 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 15, which has an 11 single crochet 3 times, single crochet the remaining 30 stitches. So you're going to do 11 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then you're going to do a single increase. Okay, and then you're going to repeat that twice. Single crochet the remaining. So I've done it. The standard increases the 3 times. As you can see, this side's getting bigger, this side's getting smaller, this side's kind of we're getting the shape of the bottom. It's going to be more apparent as we keep going. We have 3 more rounds of increases, and you'll get to see this this shape. But single crochet these are remaining 30 stitches, and we'll meet back at the stitch marker. That was round 15. You should have 69 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 16, which is going to be 6 single crochet, increase, and then 6 single crochet. You're going to do that 3 times total. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull that out of the video. I decided I don't like it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then increase. Okay, and then 6 more. Okay, so we've done the first increase section, do 2 more increase sections, and then single crochet the remaining stitches. Okay, so you've done half the round with increases. Now, single crochet the rest. Now you can see it's kind of taking the shape, and this would be a fun shape to do for like a stingray, do a flat bottom, and you just have this. I maybe make this a little pointy. There's so many things you can do with this, but it's going up on one side and it's staying flat on the other side, which is what we were going for, so that the front of the crab, where we're going to put his face, is a little bit thicker than the back of the crab. Uh, it'll make sense. Just a process. Sometimes I ramble. Anyway, we just finished round 16. There should be 72 stitches. We have four more rounds of these increases where we do it on half and then single crochet the remaining. So you can move on without me or you can stick along with me. If you're following along in the pattern, you may have surpassed me at this point because I do tend to talk a lot. Anyway, we are moving on to round 17, which is 3 single crochet, increase 3 times, or it is 13 single crochet, increase 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, increase. Do that 2 more times, and I'm not going to stop at the halfway point to remind you to just single crochet the rest, just single crochet the rest. That was round 17. Should have 75 stitches. We're going to move on to round 18, which is 7 single crochet, increase, 7 single crochet, 3 times, single crochet the remaining. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then increase. And then do 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now repeat that 2 more times and then single crochet the remaining stitches, and we will meet back here when we finish this round. That was round 18. Should have 78 stitches. We're getting our shape now where we can see that it's popping up on one side, kind of laying flat on the other side. Excuse me, it's really cold in my studio, so I have to warm up my hands real quick before we move on to the next one. The next round is round 19, and we're going to do 15 single crochet, increase 3 times, and then 30 single crochet. So do your 15 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then you're going to do an increase. All right. And then the next thing you do is you repeat that 2 more times, single crochet the remaining 30 stitches, and we'll meet back here when we get back to the stitch marker. Okay, you just finished 19. You have 81 stitches. We have one more to go, and the bottom of our shell is done. But as I was doing this, I was thinking, oh, well, wouldn't this be really cool to flip it over, make a bottom, and then this is a horseshoe crab, or like one of those little hermit crabs that like steals shells from other things. I don't know. There's so many things you can do with these shapes. You can just play with them and see how they work together. Um, or you can end up like me and have a tub full of discarded body parts because things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. All of this is fine and it totally happens. But let's move on to the last round, and then we can move on to other parts of this crab. So we are going to do round 20, which is 8 single crochet, increase, 8 single crochet 3 times. So let's do the first one together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Increase. Okay, then do 8 more single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Repeat that 2 more times. Single crochet the remaining 30. We'll meet back when we get to the stitch marker, but we're almost done with this piece. Whew. Okay, we are done with the bottom of our crab, and you can see his shape. I think I went over this before. This is the inside. This is the outside. So just want to make sure it's flipped the right direction when you put it together with the other piece. But what we're going to do now is cut, fasten off. All right, took that out of frame. Didn't mean to. Fasten off. And you're going to want to set this aside, and we're going to move on to the top of the shell, which is in this situation, I'm doing it in dark blue. If you're following the pattern, it's in like a purple color. You can do whatever you want, but I do think that the top of the shell should probably be the same color as your claws, unless we are doing a rainbow or multicolored crab, and then just make everything different and have fun and send me pictures because I can't wait to see what that looks like. So we are going to set this aside and get our blue yarn, and I will be right back. Okay, I've grabbed my blue yarn and we're going to make the top of our shell. So this one is, you're going to do a circle increase by 6s until it is 12 single crochet increase. And then you're going to have a couple rows of single crochet, and then we'll do all of that. But if you want to just go ahead and just do that on your own, you're fine. We will work through the stitches, but what I'm going to do is just show you the first one and then skip to the end of the round, because this video is getting really long and we want to make sure that that it's not too difficult for you to watch. Plus the other two parts, the antenna, which are not really antenna, I know, and the legs will be a quick video, but I want to make sure that you have time to see those. So, like always, we are going to chain 2 or a magic ring, and you are going to do 6 single crochet in the second chain from hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, pull that up tight to close the hole. And you've just finished round 1, which is 6 stitches. So now we're going to move on to round 2, which is going to be increase in each stitch. So an increase, we've done enough of these. It's 2 stitches and 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then like always, or what if you followed along with me, I always like to count my second row, because if I have made a mistake in this row, it'll go through all the way. Now it's easily fixable, but I'd rather just start off with a clean slate. So I always count the second row or round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we're good to go. I'm going to grab the stitch marker. I'm going to cut this a little shorter than what I've been using, just because it's been a pain for me to pull it in and out. All right, we're moving on to round 3, which is going to be single crochet, increase 6 times. You're going to do your single crochet. You're going to increase. And you're going to repeat that 5 more times. We'll meet back here at the stitch marker. Pause if you need to. That was the end of round 3. You should have 18 stitches. Now we're going to move on to round 4. We're going to do a single crochet, increase, single crochet 6 times. You do your single crochet, then you increase, and then you single crochet. Repeat that around 5 more times. We'll meet back at the stitch marker. All right, that was the end of round 4. You should have 24 stitches. We're going to move on to round 5, which is 3 single crochet, increase 6 times. 1, 2, and 3, and then increase. And repeat that around 5 more times. You finished round 5. You should have 30 stitches. You're going to move on to round 6. Yes, I follow along with a written pattern. I don't just make this up as I go. These are my written patterns, but I have to follow along or I'll mess something up. All right, so round 6, we are going to do 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet 6 times. So you're going to go 1, 2, and then you're going to increase. And then you're going to do 2 more. And we'll call that the increase section. And you're going to repeat that around 5 more times. That was the end of round 6. You should have 36 stitches. We're going to move on to round 7. 5 single crochet, increase 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to increase. Okay, repeat that around 5 more times. That was round 7. You should have 42 stitches. We're going to move on to round 8, which is 3 single crochet, increase 3 single crochet 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, increase, and then 1, 2, 3. Repeat that around 6 more times. That was round 8. You should have 48 stitches. We're going to move on to round 9. Excuse me, which is 7 single crochet, increase. So sorry. 7 single crochet, increase 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you're going to increase. You're going to repeat that around 5 more times. I know I sound like a broken record right now. We just finished round 9. You should have 54 stitches. So round 10 is 4 single crochet, increase 4 single crochet 6 times. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then increase. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your increase section. Repeat
I
that
say
6 more
6, but I
times. We'll
mean
meet back
5.
here.
Repeat it 5 more times.
All right, that was round 10. And you should have 60 stitches. So now we're going to move on to round 11, which is 9 single crochet, increase 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you're going to increase. Okay, repeat that around 6 more times. And just so you want to, if you want to know how far we are, we have 3 more increase rows. And then we're going to do a couple of other things. And then we're going to attach this piece to the bottom piece. It's all going to be super fun. So 5 more times, and we'll meet back here at the stitch marker. And in case my rambling made you forget where you were, 9 single crochet increase. All right, that was just the end of round 11. We're moving on to round 12, which is 5 single crochet, increase 5 single crochet 6 times. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to increase. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Repeat that 5 more times. Feel free to pause if you need to. Um, no one is judging you on how quickly you get this finished. So do what you got to do. Okay, you just finished round 12. You should have 72 stitches. We're going to move on to round 13, which is 11 single crochet, increase 6 times. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. Okay, then do your increase. All right, now then you want to repeat that 5 more times. That was round 13. You should have 78 stitches. We have 1 more increase round to go. So we're going to do round 14, which is 6 single crochet, increase 6 single crochet 6 times. So we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, then increase. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so that's your increase section. You want to do 5 more, and we'll meet back here at the stitch marker. Okay, you just finished round 14. You should have 84 stitches. And if you remember, 84 is the number of stitches we ended on with this. So we basically just made a little hat. I know they don't look the same right now. It's the same number of stitches, even if it looks a little wider. You do want to make sure it's the same number of stitches because we are going to single crochet this part to this part. I'm not doing that just yet, but we are going to do that, and we want to do a 1 for 1. Okay, so you're going to do rounds 15 and 16. So rounds 15 and 16 are just single crochet rows. So just single crochet in each stitch around. Make sure you have 84 stitches. We'll meet back here and we'll attach the top to the bottom and we'll keep going. I just finished rounds 15 and 16. As you can see, it's kind of curving a little bit. That's okay. It's going to get attached, so it's totally fine. So now what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet this piece to this piece. Now, this is the outside, this is the inside. We want to single crochet them wrong sides together so that we have the outside showing. I like to line up where I fastened off with where I start. And this is really a simple process. You're going to single crochet into, put your hook into this stitch, and then put it into the first stitch of the base piece. So they kind of match up. And then you just single crochet like you normally would. So let's do that again. Put it through the top, put it through the bottom, single crochet, top, bottom, single crochet, top and bottom, single crochet. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet this around and we're going to stuff as we go. What I will likely do is wait till I have an opening about this big. So let's say if we've got 84 stitches, I will probably go around till there are about 14 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 stitches left, so I can get my hand in here to do the stuffing. But we're just going to single crochet around. I'm not going to skip through this. I'm going to speed it up so you can kind of still see what I'm doing, but it still will move a little faster. And just keep going around. Again, pause if you need to. No one's going to get mad. Pause, and when we get to a point where we want to start stuffing, you can just join me when you're ready to stuff. I realize how that sounds. Anyway, join me at the stuffing point. Okay, I've gone all the way around. I don't know if that's exactly 14, but I know my hand fits, so I don't want to go any further. So here you can see it from the bottom, and it makes this nice little edge. And then from the top, you won't see any of the blue at all. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to start stuffing. And you'll notice that you can see the shape that we did. So it's thicker on this side and it goes down and narrower on the other side. That's what we had wanted the whole time. So this should work out really well. So hopefully you have your polyfiber fill nearby. I have a ton of it. It's just kind of sitting down here on the floor beside my desk. Okay, so when I stuff, I make this really long, take the hook out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and just tuck this inside. I don't want to have to sew that end in. I'm going to have enough sewing with all of the crab legs and the claws and the antennas and the eyes. Don't want any additional sewing. So you're just going to get some stuffing and you're going to start working that in there. I try to go from one side to the other. And I want to make sure it's down in that side. There we go. Okay, and one thing that can happen is if you overstuff, you'll lose all that shaping you did. You don't want to lose the shaping. So you want to make sure that it's just a little flatter on one side and a little more stuffed on the other side. Just keep shaping. Shaping with the stuffing is definitely a trick that you learn the more often you do this. Okay, we still have that opening. We still have to close it up. Keep a little stuffing here in case you feel that it's not stuffed enough. But we're going to squish that a little bit. There we go. So see, we have the flat edge, and then you're going to have the basically the higher side, and we're going to do the eyes and stuff on this side because it'll look really cool. All right, put your hook back in, tighten back up your yarn, and then we're going to keep single crocheting, and it should have been a 1-to-1 because you should have had 84 stitches in one and 84 stitches in the other. Now, if you get to a point where you realize you didn't do that, just whichever side it is, if it's the dark side or the light side, just do 2 stitches into one to even it out. There is no point going back through and undoing all your hard work for a minor mistake that's pretty easy to fix. So don't stress, just fix. Okay, so I feel like I'm losing a little bit of the stuffing right there, which is why I kept some right here. And I'm just gonna shove that in there. Woohoo! All right, and then we're gonna keep going. And I know they didn't look like they were the same size when we first put the two together, but it's kind of cool how that works. Now, this is where the slip stitch is, so it always looks a little weird. Just go underneath your slip stitch and pull up. Okay, now you're not going to cut your yarn here. We have a couple more rows. of single crochet. Actually, we have 3 more rows of single crochet. I just hadn't turned the pattern yet. So you're going to do 3 more rows of single crochet all the way around, and that's going to give us like a nice little lip over the top, which adds to the shell effect. So go ahead and grab your stitch marker, put your stuffing off to the side because you don't need it anymore. Grab your stitch marker. There it is. And you're going to do 3 more rows of single crochet, 84 stitches per row, and we'll meet back here when we're done and we'll fasten off. So just single crochet. Just keep crocheting. Okay, finally, we're all the way around. So you can see it's made this little lip that sticks out. If yours was curling up, mine was too. Not a big deal. You just have to curl it back down. If it keeps doing it and it really does start to bother you, you can spray it with some water and steam it into place. But here's where it collapses down. So this is where we're going to put our eyes. I know that's not where the eyes go on a crab. You don't need to tell me. I believe me, everyone on the internet already has. But we're going to put the eyes here. We're going to put 2 little like antenna up here, and we're going to make legs for the bottoms. So there's not that much left to do. Um, it's just a lot of little pieces that we'll have to sew together. So cut your yarn, slip stitch into the next stitch to fasten off. You'll want to weave in this end. I'm not going to do that right now. There we go. That is our little crab. And if you just want an idea of what you're getting, you just put the little claws right here and you just um, you can make the sound effects if you'd like. It's not necessary. Anyway, come back here when you're ready and we will start working on the legs. Have finished our body, which I think I've already shown you, but I'm showing you again because it's so wonderful. Now we have to do the legs. So you're going to want to make 8 of these. Yes, I looked. Crabs have 8 legs, and then they have their 2 longer legs. So you're going to want to make 8. I've already gone ahead and done them. This is what they're going to look like. This kind of gives you an idea. So you will want 8 of these. That is 5, 6, and 7. So now we're going to work together to make number 8. And you guys can stop this, rewind it, pause if you need to, whatever, so you can get all 7 of these done. You will want to use the written pattern if you have it. If not, no worries. And I am doing these in the lighter shade of blue. So I have my lighter shade of blue. I'm going to pull back my sleeves and we're going to get started. All right. So you make your slip knot. Hopefully we all know how to do that by now. There's your slip knot. And don't pull that up too tight just yet. I don't know why I did. All right, chain 2, 1 and 2. Okay, now you're going to do 4 single crochet in the second chain from hook. So it is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull that up. All right, that was round one. You should have 4 stitches. Woohoo! Very exciting. So what we're going to do for round 2 is we're going to increase in each stitch. So that's 2 crochets in each stitch. So you're going to do, oh, that just got all split. Don't know why that happened, but sometimes it does. All right, so it's 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, and 4, 2. You should have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really feel like I'm in like a Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, sorry. Anyway, get some stuffing because this is pretty small. So you're going to want to stuff this as you go. If you wait too long, then it gets too big, so it becomes a problem. So in this round 3, we're going to single crochet in the back loops only. So you're going to single crochet. This is the back. It's the one furthest from you, and this is the front. There are two. Go to the back one. Single crochet in the back loops only, all the way around. Okay. Make sure you get the back loops. Now, the reason we do this, and I will show you in just a second, haha, is so that we have more of a flat bottom, because by single crocheting in those back loops, we get a flat bottom, which makes things work really, really well. So what we're going to do now is you're going to do a single crochet around for 4 rows, 8 stitches per row. We'll meet back here when we get done with that single crochet, 4 rows of single crochet, okay? Okay, we've just finished rows 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to pull this out. Now, like I said, this is, you can start stuffing now, and I am going to. If you have long fingers, you can wait, but I prefer to do it now. Otherwise, I end up wearing all these claws on my fingers. I don't take the hook out because it is just so little. So I just stuff a little bit in there. And this one is really easy to overstuff, so just be careful. If you overstuff it a little, this is a light color, so it's not too big of a deal. All right, we're going to move on to round 8. So round 8 is tricky. So what I'm going to do is just talk through each of the stitches. I think that's going to be simpler. So we're going to do a couple of decreases and a couple of increases to give us the curve like we did on our claws. And that gives us these fun little curved skittery legs. Skitter. Yes, I said skitter. So for round 8, we're going to start with a decrease. So put it in the first stitch and go into the second stitch, pull it up, go over, pull through both. And we're going to do another decrease. So put it in, pull up, into the next, pull up, around, pull through. Next stitch is just a single crochet. Okay, and then you're going to do an increase, which is 2, and then increase, and then single crochet in the last stitch. So you'll still have 8 stitches, but you've created this curve on this side. So it goes over this side and comes down this side. So for round 9, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So we're just going to work together and just single crochet this all the way around. Very exciting. Okay, and that's round 9. And like I said, now it's starting to curve, so I want to keep stuffing as I go so that I can keep the shape, and I can get down to the bottom. It gives it just a little bit more sturdiness. Okay, so round 10 is just a repeat of round 8. So we're going to do a decrease, decrease, and then a decrease, decrease, boop. And then you're going to do a single crochet. And you're going to do an increase, increase, and then another increase, increase, and then a single crochet. Boom. All right. So that just finished round 10. Still have 8 stitches. So round 11 is again a single crochet row. 1, 2. You just go around. It's very, very exciting. Okay, and if I lay it down, you can see how that's curving on its own, and I'm not forcing it to curve, which is why I do this. I want it to curve. I want this shape. All right, stuffing. Okay, now we're going to move on to round 12, which is again a repeat of round 8. So you're going to do a decrease and a decrease and a single crochet and then an increase and then another increase and then a single crochet. Okay, once again, you have 8 stitches. Now you're going to do round 13, 14, and 15, and those are just single crochet rows. So keep stuffing as you go, as long as you can get your finger in there. Do 3 rounds of single crochet, and we'll meet right back here. Up next, we need to make the little, I know they're not antenna, but we're going to call him antenna for this little guy. He's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Anatomically correct for a crab. I think those are actually the eyes, but we're just going to call him antenna because I'm going to give him different eyes. So that's what they're going to look like when they're done. They're super quick and easy. Using your light blue yarn or whatever your contrasting color is, go ahead and make your slip knot. And put your hook in. Now chain 2. Okay, now you're going to do 4 single crochet in the second chain from hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's round 1. Round 2, you're going to increase in each stitch. So let's do that together. It's going to be 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, and 4, 2. Okay, so now you should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so that's the end of round 2. Let's move on to round 3, which is a single crochet increase 4 times. You're going to do your single crochet, then you're going to increase, and then you're going to repeat that 3 more times. So single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, and then single crochet, increase. Okay, that got us to 12 stitches and round 4, which is just a single crochet row. So you're just going to single crochet in each stitch around, and I'm going to go ahead and just get started on that. And we're not going to cut out because it's only 12 stitches, so it's no big deal. So let's just do a single crochet row together. All right, you finished round 12, which is, or not round 12, round 4, which is 12 stitches. We're going to move on to round 5, which is a single crochet, decrease 4 times. I don't stuff these. If you want to stuff them, you probably should do this after this next row. So we're doing the decrease. Okay, single crochet, and then decrease. All right. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease. I don't stuff these because I like them to be floppy. If you want them to have more body and more shape, feel free to stuff them, but I'm not going to. And you would want to stuff them right now. Otherwise, you're not going to have any room to stuff them after that. So we finished round 5. We have 8 stitches. Let's move on to round 6, which is going to be 4 decreases. So we're going to decrease 4 times. So it's a decrease, a decrease, decrease, and a decrease. And sometimes you just slip. You have to go back and do it again. There you go. All right. So now you have 2 more rows with this. And it's just 4 stitches per row. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker and just count 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well, there you have your little antenna / eyeball thingies. You want to cut a piece so you can sew this on. Fasten it off with a slip stitch. And you can either stop and rewind so you can go through that again because you'll want to have 2 of them. Uh, or you can follow along the pattern. You can pause, however you want to do it. Feel free, and then come back and we will do the eyes, which we start those in the black yarn. You're going to make 2 of these as well. So start these in the black yarn, do a slip stitch. Realize I don't have the light on. I hope that doesn't make it too bad. Sorry. Chain 2, and you really need the light when you're doing black crochet, or if you're in your 40s, you need it because you're going blind. So chain 2, and then do 6 single crochet, the second chain from hook, but pay attention on the last stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Now pull it up, but we're not going to finish that stitch. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut this yarn just to get it out of the way. I'm going to grab my white. So we just did the pupil. Now we're going to do the whites of the eyes. And we haven't done any color changes in this project. So you finish like that. and you take the next color, and then you pull that through, pull this part tight, and you have successfully changed colors. Now, we're going to do this part together as well because it's a bunch of we're doing half double crochets and things like that. We also haven't done any of those in this project. So we're going to do an increase. Okay, that's one increase. And when we finish, we can tie all this stuff up in the back. And then we're going to do another increase. Okay, the next section is called a half double crochet increase. And we haven't done any half double crochets, but it's 2 half double crochets in 1 stitch. So you're going to wrap the yarn around, go through, pull up, go around, pull through all 3. Okay, so around, through, pull up, around, pull through all 3. Okay, and then the next one is the same thing. It's a half double crochet increase. So around, through, up, around, through them all, around, through, up, around, through them all. Okay, and then you're going to do an increase. It's just your standard single crochet. And then one more increase. All right. And so with those half double crochets, it gives us just a little bit more down at the bottom of the eye than at the top. We're going to fasten that off with a slip stitch, cut it, and then pull it through. Now, I like to tie off these so that I don't have to deal with them later and to get the stitches nice and tight so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to do a couple of square knots. And then another square knot, 2. And then this one is just kind of hanging out. So let's tie it to something as well. Don't use your sewing yarn. You just want to use the other ones. Okay. Now, to be able to hide all this behind the eye, you need to cut it all a little shorter. So I'm going to go in and just cut that. And then when we sew it on, we can kind of curl it up, sew our eye on, and you'll be none the wiser. So there you go. That is your eye. I forgot to say, go ahead and make a second one. Pause or rewind if you need to. And we'll meet back here to put everything together.
So now we're going to have to weave in the ends. So you want to thread your needle. And this is for the shell. And you're just going to go back and forth through the stitches to weave in those ends. You want to keep going for a while. When you've got to the end of where you want, I've threaded my blue yarn down the edge of the shell so I can put it in the body without it having any issues. Then I put it through and then I'm going to cut it. And now we have that part done. So my microphone cut out while I was filming, and I am trying to figure out what I was babbling about in this section. But there's a skinny side and a fatter side for the eyes. So you want to put the eyes right around there, and I flip up the edge of the shell to make this easier. Now you can pin these both in place to make it so you can see how they look, to get an idea, so you can basically plan out the face before you sew it on. So they're pretty hard to get off after you sew them on. So we're gonna pin this one in place and then put the other one down, and we'll sew them on. I used a stitch where I go down one stitch, up the other side, and then up, so it's not an overhand stitch, so it gets hidden. So I'm going to speed up this sewing on portion since I don't know what I was saying, and I do apologize. If you have questions, you can always feel free to contact me. Okay, you've got both eyes on. So now what we're going to do is flip it over so that we can put the legs on. Now there's going to be 8 of these. You can lay them out ahead of time or you can do them one at a time. What I'm going to do is show you doing one and then do the other on each side to make them even. I like to do one side, then the other side, and then keep going all the way back. So we will get this first leg down. It's right under the eye and just a little bit further out. You want to leave some space for the main claws to go in ahead of these or before these. This is the big blue claws are going to be in closer to the eyes than the rest of these. So you want to get these on. And what we'll do, again, since my microphone cut out, is I will probably just speed up all of this footage. If you need to pause it to look again, feel free.
All right, we've done the legs. Now we want to do the antenna. I am going ahead and threading one on my needle right now. And we'll put both of them up to kind of get an idea. I like to have them a little bit more of a front. Some people like to put them way back here. This is really your call, but I kind of want to put them on the outside edge of each eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows back is where I'm going to put them. So I'll go ahead and get this one on. And I find it's easier to put the big claws on last. So I put them on last. Otherwise, they're just flopping around and in my way, and it makes it difficult for me to do this part. So that's sewn on. I'm going to go around one more time to make it nice and secure. I know a lot of people sewing everything on is their least favorite part. I like it because everything finally comes together and I can really see the personality of my finished piece. Okay, so that's all done. I'm going to put that through and then go back through the same hole and put it through again. I'm going to cut that and then it'll pop right back inside. And we have one of the little antennas. So let's get the other one. Go ahead and thread your needle. Okay, and I'm going to have him look at me for a second so I can make sure. And then I'll show you guys. So we want to do it in the same row around. So I just kind of use my fingernail to go around, and we're right at the outside of the eye. I'm going to have this tacked in real quick. There. So now you can see from your angle. That's a weird angle for me because I need to be looking at him straight on. So let's go ahead and get this one sewn on. Just try to make sure they're in the same crochet round across. That's going to be your best part. And let's get this baby sewn on here. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to do it again a second time around to make it nice and secure. And I'm really just going down into the shell and pulling it up and then getting the next stitch, doing the same thing. Okay, there we go. All right, and then I hide it inside the body. I guess I could shove it all the way through to the other side, and maybe I will on this one, because then the blue won't show. Okay, and then you snip that. Choo. Okay, the last part is going to be putting on these claws. And I'm going to kind of do it while he's upside down. It is a lot easier to get these on from an upside down angle. You want to make sure they both curve the same way. You don't want them curving out like this. You want them like this. You can't really make these be a hands up kind of crab as they won't stay. So we're going to put these right next to these legs right here and under the eyes. And what's going to happen is if he's over a thing, those will hang, which is totally cool. So just lay them where you want them, trying to keep them right in the same row with these legs, like right here. And I'm going underneath. These are bigger than the legs were, so it'll stick down a little bit further. That's okay. And we are going to do an overstitch. Really need to learn technical terms. What I'm doing is I'm going down through the stuffing into the next stitch, pulling it up and then going back down and moving to the next spot around. It's giving me a little bit of a grabbed, almost like a blanket stitch if you embroider look, but that's okay because I'm sure I'm getting every stitch and I can make sure that this isn't going to go anywhere. So I go up under, pull down, go the next one over, under, pull down. Getting this last stitch appears to be more difficult than it wants to. There we go. All right, so now when you sit him upright, the claw is right in front of him and it's super cute. You can get some more height on those legs. I'm going to sit him like this so you can see. There you go. It's very adorable. I used to sew, so I like to go back and forth a couple extra stitches just to really tack these things on nice and well. If you've ever sewn, they tell you to go back and forth at all the edges of your seams. Just kind of try to hold them in place. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, I'm gonna pull. That seems pretty tight. I realize I am not a toddler that will yank on it forever, but that's okay. I'm gonna pull this through and then through. And then I think for this, we'll just pop it up through the top. And go ahead and clip it. And we've got one more thing to sew on, which is going to be the exact same thing. And you have your little Sheldon done. You can flip his little hair. You can flip that up and make it like a sailor hat. You can keep it flipped down so it's like a shell. But just do your one more leg. Make sure it's facing the right direction. And then you have your little crab. And he's really, really cute. I'm going to flip him over so I can kind of see what I'm doing. Try to get it in the same spot. As you can see, they flop around a lot, which is why I didn't want to do this. Why I wanted to do this last. Okay. Go up through, down. Try not to get all the other legs caught in. It happens sometimes. Okay, we've got all the way around, so we're going to do some back and forth just a little bit to reinforce this edge. Okay, and my yarn is doubled over, so it's getting stuck. That happens. Pull one side, and if that doesn't work, pull the other side. There you go. All right, thread this back in through your crab. I'm doing mine in a different direction than I did the last one, and that's okay. All right, and then I'm going to shove this all the way up through the top. We're going to cut her. And there you go. You have one little crab. And I hope the camera is showing how cute he is from that angle. I I hope you enjoyed this project. I know it's a little involved, but that's okay. He's quite fun and you get a really fun little thing and you learn how to do things like single crochet join, curves, etc. So it's a super fun project and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you next time. Bye.